Hello, my name is Scott for SB Gaming. Welcome back to Motorsport Manager. We are here with SB Racing. It is October 10th, 2016. And if you missed the last episode, oh my god, we had such an amazing race. Andre Gomes came in on the podium, indeed. Third place in Tondela. He missed the podium in Guildford. Fourth place in the race. That is awesome. He scored quite a bit of points. He is up to 11th place in the championship. Of course, that means he starts a little bit further back, which means he has to fight his way up to the front. So that's not so good, but we are definitely improving. He had a weak race here, although I think it was, yeah, he got clipped by Arboleo in Munich, and yeah, had to come in, replace the wing, and couldn't fight back up into the upper half of the grid, but we had some pretty good races. Third in Tondela, fourth in Guildford. Our car is performing reasonably well. We have currently running a 108 and 68 engines. We are running a 92 and 52 engines, or for gearbox, and 83 and 45 on the suspension. We are currently working on the performance of these parts and maximize them as quickly as possible. They will be done 9 days before the race, so then we will be, of course, able to focus on the two risky parts that we had built. These are to maximize the performance for next year's parts, because your best two parts, 173 and 108, 135 and 100, will carry over to the next season as our baseline parts. I don't know what number it decides as the base for new parts to be built, because when you come in here, there is a base performance which is +1 from the base and +8 from the designer. Whatever the +1 is from the base, these are brakes. If we go to improve parts on the brakes, we have A1 as our, okay, so I'm guessing it takes the best number. So yeah, if we got this part up to 173, any engine we built next season would possibly start off with a 173, and then we'd add the components off after that. This is why we're building this. Maximize the performance. We don't ever plan to use these parts. They are only for next season. If we can, of course, get that bump up in performance, then we will perform much better next year. Of course, the other teams could very well do that, although with that said, given how many times there's been 3 or 4 drivers been demoted after the race for breaking the GMA rules, and so there are teams that are building risky parts. Some are getting caught, some are probably not. Some may be doing what we're doing and only building them for the next season. Of course, most likely the AI would just be using them regardless, and then, yeah, anyway. We have the reliability of our essential components, 84 and 85%, that is nice. That will help reduce the chance of these parts going down into requires repairs category. We have 2 races left, the one coming up in Milan, and then we go back to the Black Sea. Beauchamp is in the lead with 136 points, that's not unsurprising. Ja is next with 118 and tied with Antonov for second place. We are sitting in 11th with Gomez, 83 points, and Anthony is down in 17th with 69 points. Now, what we are going to do, we have some scouting in progress. Our car is 9th on the grid. We're 8th for drivers. Yeah, about that. Anything else I want to take care of? We're not doing anything with this. We have $677,000 in the bank, and although the cost per race is saying $711,000, in the last time around we did get a chunk of money. Wanchai Industry sponsor bonus, 9th or above, for $450,000. I think we are in a position to be able to get the Wan Chai, although with that said, we no longer have them. So what we're going to want to do is, over the next 24 days, hopefully we'll get some decent sponsors. We can get 2-star sponsors because we have 61%, 21%, and 27%. You get 2-star sponsors at 30% marketability. It's either 50 or 60% marketability when you get into the 3-star sponsor deals. We do have one contract negotiation. We've kept it as is. We lowballed him for $336,000. I just wanted to see where he'd be at, but he was really insulted by the cost per race. I don't think we will necessarily hire him. We may move Frankie Kinney up to a main driver position because she has the pay driver trait. There are also a couple other drivers who have the pay driver trait. There is Enrique Lara, and her stats are all right. 11 feedback, 18 overtaking, pretty good, 19 smoothness. These kind of suck. Her fitness is all right, so she'd perform well into the middle and end of the race. But she is a wonder kid, so she can improve quite a bit. And she is a pay driver, $277,000. Very, very tempting. Unfortunately, her marketability is 11%. That would, of course, mean that if we go to sponsors, if we were to replace her with, or Faith Anthony with her, we'd lose 10%, and this would drop about 3%. Yeah, about that. What is Frankie Kinney's market? That's right. Plus 25 for being controversial. So I would be very tempted to put her into a main driver position. She is our reserve driver. And she's contracted to be reserve. She has 27 months left on her contract, so keep it simple, stupid, reduced adaptability, home race hero, and unfortunately her stats have peaked, so that is a thing. Anyway, let's hit the continue button. And we have some mail. Spec Brakes on the agenda for the GMA. The 10 team principals of the European Racing Series will be meeting next week to mull over the merits of Spec Brakes. Currently we have Spec front and rear wings. This would see the team's current brakes replaced with the standard GMA approved brakes. Quite a loss to see brake development stopped, with technical expert Mary Haskell telling us, hate the idea of limiting the team's ability to improve. Motorsport is as much about the technology as anything else. Well, we do have Spec front and rear wings, so what do you say about that? We do have one sponsor. It would be nice to see. So Rahul Kapoor has 2 votes. Predator Racing Group. I'm probably going to abstain from this vote because I actually don't care. We haven't developed any parts for the brakes. I have specifically not designed any parts for the brakes just because I thought it's entirely possible that we could get, wherever it is, Spec Brakes, which means, of course, it doesn't matter what our performance is. If I develop brakes for this season, they are very low priority parts. What would basically happen is if that came in effect, this would be replaced with this, and all of our money spent on brakes would go out the window, basically. So we don't want that. We have one sponsor offer in the slot 5, and it is ACUS. 6 or above, 7 races, $750,000, $650,000 per race. I would be tempted, since it is a 2-star sponsor, it gives us $750,000 and a nice bonus. Although, can we achieve 6th place or better? That's the thing. Andre Gomes did score a 3rd and 4th, but Whether that will be able to carry through, maybe, but we will wait until closer to the race to take it in the event that we potentially get some better sponsor deals, because there's going to inevitably be some sponsors coming up. And so we have the vote coming up. We have a driver report for scouting. Let's hit the continue button. And there is the roundup for the 13th round, Singapore, of the World Motorsport Championship. And as we can see, Panther Race Team is definitely in the lead. They have 3 races to go, so unless they fall behind, because of course this series only gives points to the top 10, but it's not likely that their drivers are necessarily going to, yeah, second and third right there. Yeah. Once you're ahead, you usually stay ahead. Steinman is the only one who has a chance of taking them, but yeah. And there is the Asia Pacific Super Cup. We are looking at Lucatelli as dropping down to our league at the end of the season, especially if Garuda Racing gets promoted up to the next series. And MacLeod Racing Team could bump up to the next one, although with that said, it's anyone's game. It's entirely possible that Boa Esperança could jump ahead of MacLeod. And so we have nothing much of anything because that was just the, yep. Continue button. And we'll start with the sponsor. One new available, Chiffre, which is no upfront payment, 5th or above, $800,000. Same thing. I don't like either of these. Just because it is 5th or 6th or above. I'm confident with a 9th place, given the performance of our car, but 5th and 6th, still not another thing. 10 races, although if we were to consistently get this, that's a nice chunk of change. So we will wait until the next sponsor deal available. We have 2 races remaining, so this one is going to expire at the end of the next race. So yeah, about that. Done with my scouting mission. I found out everything there is to know about Magnus Krantz. He'd be one of the very best drivers, of course, because he's in the tier 2. His fitness is his strength, but he isn't best at driving smoothly. Let's check out Magnus Krantz, who is part of Lucatelli, who we will be competing against in the next season, most likely. Although with that said, they will be most likely the top team, so we don't really have to be too concerned about them. But this is their reserve driver, 18 fitness, 16 feedback, overtaking consistency, not that bad. Well, yellows. Ideally, you want blues or greens, just because reasons. He's paid $373,000 as a reserve driver. His marketability is only 14%, and he's had no races. So, yeah, he's been with MRT, Valburena. He's been with Spec GP, and yeah, but he has had no races. So about that. Anyway, let's go to the vote. And so, the rule will benefit equality-focused teams, which is Archer BMR, Eastwood Motorsport, Silver Racing, and will not benefit traditional teams. What do you mean? Why would I be a traditional team? What are you basing this on? Brakes can no longer be developed in-house. Performance level of 150 lowers the annual cost of car development substantially. Of course, with that said, if you choose not to develop your brakes, you're not paying anyway, so you can reduce your cost there and focus on more important things. Anyway, we are going to not vote against because I'm just going to abstain. If we get it, it works out well for us because that's one less part we'd have to focus on. We'd be evenly matched with all the other teams, so we actually benefit from this rule, because we can then just focus our money on the parts that matter. Brakes, I think, are the least useful parts I'd have to check, although it does depend upon the tracks. So we are just going to abstain. We'll get 1 voting power during the next vote, which of course will be next season. So there's currently 3 for, 2 against, with 5 undeciding. Let's hit the continue button. So that's 1 for abstain. Max Newman abstained, 1 against, 1 for, 2 against, 2 for, another abstained, 3 against, 3 for, and it does not pass. 4 votes against, 3 votes for, 3 of us had abstained. So, yep, about that. And voting over, Spec Brakes rejected. Either way, I don't really care about that. With that said, I do know that what I can do if I want to. Actually, if I wanted to, now that I know that Spec Brakes are not going to be implemented, I could just design a bunch of brakes to jump ahead. Tempting, although I want to try to keep my money. So, about that. How are we doing for the parts? 9 days before the race, so that's in roughly 6 days. You have 4 points left on this, 5 points left on that, 7 points left on that, and 6 points left on that. What I'm actually going to do is we are just going to pull this part and this part. And the reason is I want to focus on these and then I'll shift over to those. I think I'll get them done a little bit quicker, but ultimately it doesn't matter. We are going to hit the continue button, and performance work has been done. Yes, indeed. Now we are going to focus fire on this and that part. Yeah, ultimately it doesn't really matter. 9 days before the race. If we were to add that 1 day after the race, no, let's maximize these parts. Is there anything else I want to work on? Actually, let's work on those 6 days before the race. Sure. Let's hit the continue button. And we'll pause it there because we have a few scouting reports. Jean-Pierre Girard is a fairly decent driver within the European Racing Series. He's predicted to finish 5th. His greatest strength is smoothness, but he struggles with his braking. And so we can see Jean-Pierre Girard, 4 braking, 6 cornering, 5 adaptability, feedback of 11. He's dedicated, so mechanic relationship. Dangerous dueler, +4 overtaking, -2 consistency, -4 focus. Only applies when there is exactly 1 other car within 1 second of the driver on track. Interesting. Only applies when there's exactly 1 other car within 1 second of the driver. Very, very specific. So he can't be within the pack, and he'd be basically dueling someone. He's 24 years of age. He has some potential to go. 167,000 per race. Wow. How does he compare to, say, Faith Anthony? 4 versus 8, 6 versus 5, 14 versus 8, 12 versus 7, 12 versus 11, 10 versus 5, 7 versus 4, 11 versus 8, 9 versus 9. A little bit of one, a little bit of the other. Neither is really exceptional. So that is Jean-Pierre Girard. Why did I want to scout him exactly? Anyway, scouting report finished. Nick Chu is one of the better drivers in the European Racing Series. His potential is good. Strength is fitness, and he has a hard time with cornering. Let's check Nick Chu. Taking of 12, 13 adaptability. He has -1 for being dumb. Adaptability and feedback, ouch. Lightning reactions, +2 focus, caught speeding, +5 marketability. Interesting. He has a 12% marketability. Yeah, that's disappointing. And so Yeah, he's nothing spectacular. Let's pop back over to the scouting. So we have Hong Lao coming out in 24 days, 12 days. So yeah, we okay. Yeah, we're just scouting a whole bunch of people. And now what we are going to want to do, with that done, I just want to check the car. Okay, yeah, we have a little bit of performance. 6 days before the race, that'll be in 5 days. Let's hit the continue button. And there's a few mail. Team's championship target. We're currently 8th place. Yep. Report on the upcoming race in Milan. It'll be a 21 lap race. The lap length is 3.73 miles and the lap record is 1:56.765. There's likely to be some rain during the race, with Sunday showing a 40% chance of rain. It's a high-speed circuit, strong engines, is going to be good. So yeah, soft and mediums. The track is quite abrasive. Alright about that. So we have another sponsor. Our third sponsor, so we are going to have to pick one. 8th or above for $500,000. Possible. 6 or above, $750,000. Bonus payment of $650,000. I really want this just for the extra money. We may go for this. This might be more realistic. Although 12 races, I really would have liked Wan Chai back on the board. So I kind of want the $750,000. And if we happen to get 6th place or above, that would be nice for an extra $650,000. Expires in 7 races, which means, of course, we can cycle this out sooner. What do you think? Let me know down in the comments what sponsor you would take. Because the difference between 8th and 6th is not that much, although it could be. That's the thing. We'll accept it. For the money up front. We may or may not get the other one anyway, so it doesn't really matter. So we have this one expiring at the end of the next race. Let's hit the continue button. And we got the performance work complete. Never going to be able to have fast, efficient. Yeah. How about that? Jump back over the car. Improve parts. And now, so we pretty much have everything improved that we will be wanting to carry over. Actually, pretty much everything except the suspensions. So we are going to work on that one, 21 days after the race. So yeah, about that. So we are pretty good. We have $1.4 million in the bank. We have 87% on this. Ultimately, it doesn't matter. What is 27 days after the race? Alright, so that's 7, 14, 21, 28. Sometime around the end of November. It would be there. Performance work. Right before the Black Sea. Interesting. Alright. Sure. We could do that. Improve parts. 27 days after race. We don't need to focus on anything else. Let's hit the continue button. And this is the result of the 14th round of the World Motorsport Championship, Sydney. And if we check, yep, Panther Race is well ahead by about 55 points-ish or so, 45 points, however much that works out to be. And so we have 3 days to go. Let's check our car, because I just want to see. So we're still chasing Archer BMR. It would be nice to know how close we are. We are 9th place. We are very close to the average on the grid for top speed. We are 9th place. We are 10th place there. And we are 9th place there. Now, if we were to fit the parts, if we were to put this one on her car, and this one on her car, to give the best possible parts, if we take a look at this, we can see that we'd still be in 9th apparently. So I'm not sure if this made any difference whatsoever. We are not going to do that. We are going to switch back to that one, switch back to that one, because we do not want to get these parts banned. Not to mention their reliability sucks, and that would suck for us, because this would pretty much be on the red line. So that's a no-go anyway. Let's hit the continue button. And we have one message. Pre-race gossip. Milan, let's see what the motorsport world is saying. Yeah, Beauchamp. There's plenty of time left to catch. Yeah. We're having a shocking season. Struggling driver in Santa Ana told us. I think the higher ups need to have a long, hard look at what we're doing here. Because as a team, we're having a really tough time right now. I'm considering doing a separate series with Predator Racing Group. There is a challenge and I think achievement to get Predator Racing Group up into the World Motorsport Championship or win the championship or something. And since I like achievements and challenges, then I might consider doing that. But right now we are doing, of course, this. I also want to do the GT series because I bought the DLC, so reasons. And so let's hit continue. And it is time to go to Milan. So in progress, the Milan GP. We just want to make any final checks. We are improving those, and if we, yeah. Although with that said, yep, this has gone up to green. It was a yellowish color, so that's interesting. But we're still 9th on the grid. All right. The HQ. Nothing to see here. I think we are going to be good. We're not going to design any new parts. And I just want to check. Reliability is up to 88 and 89%. Yep. All right. Now, what are we going to do? We are going to 6 or above, or do we go conservative and get the guaranteed 775,000? Regardless, we are going to be in the green. Well, regardless, we're not going to be spending any money, so we don't have to. Yeah, I'm doing pretty good. Didn't go in the negatives. Actually, I just want to check something. Finances. I have saved $1.5 million. That is an engine right there. One free engine. So yeah, without this financial trait, I'd be in the negatives right now. Awesome. All right, what was that? We're sponsor select. So, do we go with RusJet Airways, or do we take a chance that we get 6 or above, and we only pay $61,000 on the weekend? You know what? I think we have a pretty good chance to do some wonderful stuff. So we're going to take it. We're going to go 6 or above. Hopefully it works out for us, because this worked out for us. Low tire wear. very low fuel burn. We have 21 laps of fuel. 21 laps on the track. This is exactly the same as last time we were here, except this little bit there. Tires available, clear but cloudy in practice. It's going to be high temperature, so that is going to affect things. It's going to be clear during the race, most likely. So top speed is crucial, deceleration is crucial, and high speed corners is going to be crucial. Alright, so more towards top speed, high downforce on the high speed corners, and yeah, about that. Alright, so I just want to make sure I didn't. Yep, we're going to want that. That doesn't matter. That and that. Alright, let's race. And here we are in whatever race this is, the Milan. And we're going to take Andre Gomes and Frankie Kinney as usual. We are going to set up the car. So we have high downforce. We have more towards the understeer, most likely. Speed balance, interesting. Somewhere in the center. Alright, so what I would like to do is probably adjust. Alright, so we are going to want, let's go 25.5. Now let's go 26. I just want to get it on the edge of the, and we are going to go like that. Continue. It's going to be 21 laps, so 12 to 14 or 16 to 18. 13 laps on average. Uh, 21 laps, 12 to 14. Or do we? No, we're going to run softs. And then what we are going to do is check this. So the downforce, is it within that range? Handling has to be roughly within that range. Of course, with that said, the setups could be wildly different. The handling for this car might need to go that direction, even though this car will never be in that direction. Speed balance is probably going to be within this narrow band. So we are just going to actually 38, 31. 38, 31. Put them on softs. Alright, so this is the same spot for each car. So yeah, within this range, which is a wide range. Within that range and within that range. Alright, well, we will go with that. We will take the practice. And we will flip the camera around so it's facing up. Now, Gomez, we'll send you out. And Kinney will send you out. So if we take a look at the rest of the field, we see most people are going on softs. We have 2, 4, 6, 7 on mediums. And Kinney and Gomez are out. We're going to hit on to jump to attack and overtake. If we can get around the track a little bit faster than we might otherwise, we can of course get a few extra seconds in practice. I don't know how much of a difference it necessarily makes, but yeah, we're gonna push it. We are coming in anyway. We want one lap out to start out with, just to see how the settings are, and then we will go from there. Come on, give me some feedback. And final corner before the squiggle. And are you going to give me any information? No, you're not. Let's bring in and bring in. The gearing is a bit dodgy, boss. Can we change the setup? Certainly. Alright, so we have good, poor, and great, poor, and okay. %, so we are going to have to shift it over by about 2 pips. Let's go 27. Actually, that's probably going to be too much. Alright, that's about right. We can tweak it from there. This changes this, so we are going to have to go longer gear ratios, as well as that. So yeah, we're going to need to go off in that direction, off in that direction. So poor is roughly 5 pips. 1, 2, 3, 4. 2, 3, 4, and 5. This looks to be 2 pips, so we are going to 3. Let's just bring it back just a bit. I want to see where this ends up, if it's good or great. It'll probably not be excellent, but I think that will be good. We're going to go on those same tires, so 0.5, 27, 69, 69, 56. Alright, so 69, 56. We had bumped this up there, and we had bumped that up to about there. Now the downforce was great right here, so we don't actually want to push the downforce that much. Let's go back to 15. That should be fine. Poor. Oh, I can't remember what. Did we have to go more in that direction, or? Oh, bother. Speed balance more towards top speed. Alright, so poor is 5 pips. Is that roughly okay? Is 3. I think the speed balance needs to be tuned down. 1, 2, and 3. 1, 2. Let's go in that direction, see where that ends up. Go back out on those tires. If I was smart, what I would do is I would write the settings down and figure out exactly where, just so I don't have to rely on my memory on which direction they need to go. So we are going to hit overtake and attack again. Alright, give me some information here. How's the weather? Looks clear. It'll be dry. Lots of track grip, but track grip does not matter. Unless they've patched it, although I don't think there has necessarily been a recent patch that has actually made track grep relevant. We'll bring them in. I want to see where they are going to end up. And Ja has the fastest lap. And we have excellent, excellent, and great. And excellent, good, and great. Nice. Let's change up Gomez's. Up to 92%. So we went from there to there. So yeah, that was about 2 pips from good to excellent. And then poor to good. So yeah, we're going to want to go more understeer. And good is about 2 pips-ish. Great. So that was poor. Let's... just tweak that. See where that ends up. Put them out on those tires. And now, excellent, excellent, and great. We have 8 minutes left in the practice, and we're 98% optimum balance. So we were at great, we jumped up to excellent, so that worked out nicely. We have poor there, excellent there, that was a good enough jump. And then okay, up to great. Now, did we overshoot that? Okay is about 3 pips. No, we didn't. We are going to want to shift gear ratios, possibly up 1 more. And I think that's all we need to do on this car. Stents, tires. I kind of want to bring them out for 1 more lap. Following McKinney. Come on, give me some feedback on the car. Race trim level 1 gained, as well as soft tires. Any feedback? Any feedback? Kenny, I'm probably going to leave out for an extra lap, but I want to bring Gomez back in. So we are going to bring Gomez in. And Kenny is on her flying lap. And excellent, excellent, and great. A little bit closer. And apparently we didn't. Do we need to go more speed balance towards top speed? We'll set him out with this. Keep him on those tires. Jump over to Kenny. And it looks like we can get a lap plus, nice, a lap plus the changes in about 2 minutes of practice. So we'll have about 6 minutes worth of, 6 laps worth of practice. And we are going to want to see what kind of time she gets, and she got a 1:23, which is about a second and a bit behind the leader. We are going to want to, actually, she can probably stay out No, we're going to be bringing her back in. So I'll put him on attack and overtake. And I think I'm going to leave him out one lap. Or do a flying lap. Arrow's feeling great right now. Just right setup. Nice here. And Gomes is he doing his starting a new flying lap? All right. We are going to want to bring her back in because she's going to need fuel. Anything else? Anything else? Downforce feels bang on. That's fine. And excellent, excellent, great. And our optimum balance dropped. That was okay. That is great. That is great. Let's tweak the Yep, we're going to do that. We are going to send her out. She can stay on those tires. And Gomes is running a flying lap. He's probably not going to get back in for another test. Race trim level 2. Soft tires level 2. And he runs a 123. All right. We're going to put her on attack and overtake. We have high setup knowledge here. Handling is spot on. Nice to hear. Kinney is ahead on the track. Gomes is just behind her. Actually, we could bring her in. Nope, we're going to keep her out. Let her run one more flying lap. We're going to have to bring Gomes in. Nice. And excellent, excellent, and good. All right, so we had great and great and now good. So what we are going to want to do is just change to that. So if that is good, that is great, that is great. Excellent could be somewhere right in the middle, because that is poor. So let's tweak the acceleration down just a bit. What's the best way to do that? Because, yeah. No, we're going to want to somewhere right there, and if we adjust the not the gear ratios, suspension, And we want to tweak that. You know what? Yeah, great and great. Let's put him on that setup. And we'll just throw him out on those tires. He'll get one more lap around the track. Kenny should have, yep, the flying lap, and any other feedback? Not that it's gonna make a difference. And she scores a... She didn't perform any better. Of course, with that said, we're 20% on the tires. And there we go. Practice has finished. We have set knowledge high on both cars. Actually, Kenny's still on a flying lap. Loving the handling. Nice to hear. And you're on 20% tires. Yeah, you've hit the tire cliff. And no better time. And there we go. We had a 123.361 and a 123.645. The time to beat was 122.521. Ultimately, this doesn't matter because it has no effect on the race because, of course, this is just racing against the clock, whereas you actually have to race against other drivers in the race. There's something about the name SB Racing. It has a beautiful ring to it. That's why I chose it. Yeah, about that. Does the track here in Milan suit the SB Racing car or something? They're looking like they're going to get a good result this weekend. Yeah, sure, how about that? Good effort by the SB Racing guys and girls today. That was a solid practice session. Nice practice session for SB Racing there. They did better than I was expecting. Yeah, well, practice has no real effect on the race coming up. So, yeah. It's just practice. And it is race day. It is raining. Wow. Alright. Let's just check the forecast. So it looks like within the first lap or so, it's going to clear up. But the rain will pick back up. The track will dry off just a bit. Yeah, about that. Our sponsor objective is 6 or above for $650,000, so that is a thing. But you are going to have to come back next time to find out what happens in the race. Anyway, thank you for joining me for this episode of Motorsport Manager. Thank you for watching. My name is Scott for SB Gaming. And as always, have a good day.